This is Shay Down Under. Hello everybody, and welcome to a very special show, because on this particular show I'm going to have a guest in the studio. She's on her way, and we're going to have a very special one that's for the O'Brien family, who this week are celebrating 50 years in Australia. They came out as a complete family back in 1969. And big celebration this weekend down here in the Southern Highlands, a gathering of the clan, and the Aussie generations will be joining the originals. And when Marion gets here, we'll certainly do some trips down memory lane and talk about the things that went on. But while we're waiting for Marion to come, a bit of country. Here's my song called Branded Man. Hold my head up and be proud of who I am, but they won't let my secrets go untold. I've paid the debt I owe them, but they're still not satisfied. Now I'm the branded man out in the cold. When they let me out of prison, I held my head up high, determined I would rise above the shade. But no matter where I'm living, a black mark follows me. I'm branded with a number, not a name. Hold my head up and be proud of who I am, but they won't let my secret go untold. I've paid the debt I owe them, but they're still not satisfied. Now I'm a branded man out in the cold. If I live to be 100, I guess I'll never clear my name, 'cause everybody knows I've been in jail. No matter where I'm living, I gotta tell them where I've been, or they'll send me back to prison if I fail. Hold my head up and be proud of who I am, but they won't let my secret go untold. I've paid the debt I owe them, but they're still not satisfied. No, I'm a branded man out in the cold. Yes, I'm a branded man out in the cold. Ah, yeah. Bit of Merle Haggard there from the good old days, and Branded Man. Now here's a band, an Australian folk band called Soonus, or they call themselves probably Sunnis out here. Great double song here. Ride On and Black is the Colour.
True, you ride the finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2, eyes are wild and green.
Very good. Band called Soonest, Right On, and Black is the Colour. Very, very good version. I love it. Now, for me friends up there in Blacktown and on Kildare Road, of course you know who I'm talking about because they're Kildare people. And I'm talking about Mary and Dom and the family, and hope that Christmas is going to be really good for you. Here's Danny O'Donnell, The Plains of Old Kildare.
The cornfields they gently sway in the summer wind so fair. The chorus of the singing birds is ringing everywhere. If only you were here with me to view those scenes so rare. Did you ever think of coming back to the plains of old Kildare? And I wonder, did you find someone your gentle love to share? Or is your heart still pining for the plains of old Kildare? I'd love to stroll once more with you where Bridget spread her shawl and built that ancient chapel beneath the oak trees proud and tall. Through Naas, Kilcullen and Apply, Maynooth and Sallins too. In Kildare the hand of friendship always welcomes you. And I wonder, did you find someone your gentle love to share? Or is your heart still pining for the plains of old Kildare? All right, then. The green fields of the Curragh are majestic in the dawn. Old Monaster Evan, Ballymore, where I was born. Those round towers and high crosses and the gentle folk who care. And the lily whites are shining light in the plains of old Kildare. And I wonder, did you find someone your gentle love to share? Or is your heart still pining for the plains of old Kildare? Yes, I wonder, did you find someone your gentle love to share? Or is your heart still pining for the plains of old Kildare?
There's the boy himself, wee Daniel, and singing about the plains of old Kildare. She will throw a Carla one in before the night is over as well, just for you, Mary. Got to keep the thing balanced, don't we? Absolutely. All right, it is Christmas time. This is a fantastic song, and it relates back to the First World War. A very kind of deep and melancholy song. Was a Tommy Fleming hit back in the day, but it's called Christmas, 1915.
1915 on Christmas Day, on the Western Front the guns all died away, and lying in the mud on bad grass of sand. We heard a German sing from no man's land. He had a tenor voice so pure and true. The words were strange, but every note we knew. Soaring o'er the living, dead and damned, the Germans sang of peace from no man's land. They left their trenches and then we left ours. Beneath tin hats they smiled just like wildflowers, with photos, cigarettes and pots of wine. We built a soldier's truce on the front line. Their singer was a lad of 21. We begged another song before the dawn, and sitting in the mud and blood and fear, he sang again the song all want to hear. Silent night, no cannons roll. A king of peace is born forevermore. All's calm, all's bright, all brothers hand in hand. In 1915 in no man's land. In the morning all the guns boomed in the rain, and we killed them and they killed us again. The bayonet, bomb and bullet, gas and flame, and neither me nor they had all to blame. There was heavy fighting right throughout the day. Peace we bloodily did pay. At night they charged, we fought them hand to hand, and I killed the boy that sang in no man's land. Silent night, no cannons roll. A king of peace is born forevermore. All's calm, all's bright, all brothers hand in hand. And that young soldier sings, and the song of peace still rings, though the captains and all the kings build no man's land.
Beautiful rendition of that song there by the one and only Tommy Fleming. Now, what do we got next? Oh yes, this is one I played a couple of weeks ago and people sent messages and said, can I hear it again? It's actually, it's a poem, a piece of poetry that somebody who, on the Facebook page, it's down as anonymous. So we don't know who it was, but when I was reading it, the tune came into my head from another tune. So we have now 4 versions of this particular. Rosin the Bow is the tune, and there's the Catalpa, same tune. Then there's The Story I Tell You Is True. So here's one, and I'd say it's English in its origins. It's called The Good Old Days.
Beef in my childhood, and the bread that we cut with a knife.
when the children all helped with the housework and the men went to work, not the wife. The cheese didn't need refrigeration and the bread was so crusty and hot. The children were seldom unhappy and the wife was content with her lot. I remember the milk from the bottle with the yummy cream all on the top. Our dinner came hot from the oven and not from the freezer or shop. We went to church every Sunday and grandfather wore his best hat. The preacher, he spoke from the altar and the women in different seats sat. The kids were a lot more contented. They didn't need money for kicks. Just a game with their friends in the roadway and sometimes the Saturday flicks. I remember the milk from the bottle with the yummy cream all on the top. Our dinner came hot from the oven and not from the freezer or shop. I remember the sound of the anvil and the burning horseshoes we could smell when we passed the forge door in the evening with the water we fetched from the well. I remember the slap on my backside and the taste of the soap when I swore. Anorexia and diets were unheard of and we had little choice what we wore. I remember the milk from the bottle with the yummy cream all on the top. Our dinner came hot from the oven and not from the freezer or shop. Do you think that this proves our ego or our initiative? It was destroyed. We ate what was put on the table and I think life was better enjoyed. Now I hope that in telling this story I haven't detained you too long, for there's so much more I must tell you someday in some other song. I remember the milk from the bottle with the yummy cream all on the top. Our dinner came hot from the oven and not from the freezer or shop. And not from the freezer or shop. Well, yeah, it's called The Good Old Days. And most of us that have a few grey hairs or white hair can remember back to all those different days. All right, here's Mae Farrell now with Daddy, Dance With Me.
I know what you see when you look at me as we walk down the aisle. Little pink tutu, bows and tennis shoes in the wide eyes of your child. Those are all the memories you will cherish and you'll carry, no matter how much time has come and gone. Daddy, dance with me. When I look at you, words can't say enough. What you've done for me, you gave me all I need. You were tender, you were tough. 'Cause the world you built around me is the strength that will surround me and protect me now that I am on my own. Daddy, dance with me. I want you to see the woman I've become. Daddy, don't let go. I want you to know I'll always need your love. Today I became his wife, but I'll be your baby girl. You gave me faith, you gave me life, you trusted me to live it right, and now you give me your blessing on his love and mine. Daddy, dance with me. I want you to see the woman I've become. Daddy, don't let go. I want you to know I'll always need your love. Today I became his wife, but I'll be your baby girl.
Yes, that's the beautiful voice there of Maeve Farrell and Daddy Dance With Me. Now, a lot of people have been sending us messages and checking up on Facebook as to how we're going here, because Australia is currently on fire. There's no other way around it. In our area alone, the fire above us that is actually threatening our area, and within the next few days we could be in strife. It is actually now bigger in area than Ireland. Yep, bigger than Ireland. And it is very scary, and there'll be a major meeting tonight at the local community hall when the fireys will bring us up to date on what's happening and all the rest of it. But yes, it is quite scary, and we're just going to do the best we can anyway. All right, so Marion Wicks has turned up, so she'll be with us in a few minutes when she gets settled in the green room, and we'll then have a good chat to Marion about 50 years in Australia and before that. All right, but here's Emer Furlong with Raggy Old Sweetheart.
I don't live in your world, and I don't dream of pearls, and I don't think golden diamonds can you see. You can keep your fancy cars and all your favorite cocktail bars, 'cause all I want is you back here with me. And I'll be your ragged old You can keep your fancy cars and all your favorite cocktail bars, 'cause all I want is you back here with me. And I'll be your ragged old sweetheart in my ragged old world so far away. When your new friends are flown, think of me and come on home. With your ragged old sweetheart, here you'll stay. And I'll be your ragged old sweetheart in my ragged old world so far away. When your new friends are flown, think of me and come on home. With your ragged old sweetheart, here you'll stay. With your ragged old sweetheart, here you'll stay.
The Shay Down Under Show on shaydownunder.podbean.com. Email Shay at shaydownunder@gmail.com.
All right, well, there are the two best ways to get in touch with us. You can email us anytime. You can contact us via the Facebook page, or of course, you can tune in on the Podbean site. There's lots and lots of ways, but there you go. You can share it amongst each other as well. Now, while Marion is getting sorted, here's a song from another guy that's been out here about the same length of time as me. He came out in 71 like I did. Marion and the family came out 2 years before us. But this is a fella by the name of Martin Doherty. And Martin wrote this one about his journey called Many Roads.
I've walked so many roads, sometimes poisoning my soul. Didn't listen when I was told. I was young, out of control. Pay the price for not saying no. But you were there to help me. You were there to catch me when I'd fall. I left my home in Dublin in the year of 71, with my brother Ned beside me. We travelled as one. We were young and free and full of life. But you were there to help me. You were there to catch me when I'd fall. Job at digging, played my music at night, sent a few bob to the Loris. That made me feel so right. Lost some friends on the way, but their memories still stay. never know what you've got till it's gone. But you were there to help me. You were there to catch me when I'd fall. Now my eyes are open. I see the light and not the dark. I believe in miracles. Each day a new start. I believe in you. I believe in you. To forgive and open up your heart. To forgive and open up your heart. But you were there to help me. You were there to catch me when I'd fall. You were there to help me. You were there to catch me when I'd fall.
All right, and that was a song written and sung by Martin Doherty, a Dubliner from way back. He came here in 1971 and had a great career, still is having a good career in the music industry. And that one he wrote about his journey out here called Many Roads. Now Marion Wicks has arrived and is hiding out in the green room at the moment, and we'll have her in here shortly after she has a couple of stiff whiskies or whatever. But just to lead into it, because even though she's got an Aussie accent now, like me, I suppose. But she's a Dubliner with a whole load of Wicklow thrown in. So here's Dublin in the rare old times.
Raise on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glory that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhyme that once was part of Dublin in the rare old time. Ring a rosy, as the light declined, I remember Dublin city in the rare old time. My name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as can be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy. Like my house, it fell to progress, my trade to memory. I courted Peggy Dignam, as pretty as can be, a rogue and child of Mary, from the rebel Liberty. I lost her to a student chap, with skin as black as coal. When he took her off to Birmingham, she took away my soul. Ring a rosy, as the light declined, I remember Dublin city in the rare old time. And the years have made me bitter, the gargle Well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages that spring up along the quay. Me mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chime. I'm a part of what was Dublin in the rare old time. Ring a rosy, as the light declined, I remember Dublin City in the rare old time. Ring a rosy, as the light declined, I remember Dublin City in the rare old time.
Yeah, so that's my rendition of Dublin in the rare old times, and selected specifically because obviously 50 years ago this week the O'Brien family bailed out of Ireland, and of course they did have one hanger on that they met on the plane, I believe, Mr. Bob Cunningham. So I'm looking forward to catching up with Bob on the weekend. So let me now introduce you to Marion Wicks, but Marion O'Brien, and she'll fill you in on some of the adventures. Marion, welcome to the Shay Down Under show.
Thank you.
Tell us, what was it like when the decision, did you know your dad and mum had decided they were coming to Australia, or how did it all develop? What was that like for you?
We didn't know. I remember coming home from school. I was at school at Dominican Convent in Cabra. Came home from school and Mum said, "You're not going to school tomorrow. We're going off to Australia House for medicals." We didn't know what for. We didn't understand it. And I was 15 then, but it just didn't sink in. And we had the day off, went for the medicals, got passed, and they said, "Now you'll know when you're going." So finally Mum and Dad said, "We're moving to Australia." We had no idea where it was or what it meant. And when I went to school the next day and I told the geography teacher we're moving to Australia, she said, "We better learn where it is." So that was the first, and that was around about the month of August. Then Granddaddy Doyle unfortunately passed away the 26th of August, but Mum and Dad got to tell him before we left. We still did not know how big this was going to be, the whole journey, everything. We then went and waited, and we got the letter which said the 9th of December that we were leaving Christmas. Everything was just going normal. We went to school. It was just normal. It just did not sink in what was going to happen. So it started the 9th of December, left Dublin, got in the papers, which is a big event, thanks to Albert Casey, God rest his soul, and got on the plane, and it all started to go haywire from there. With the snow in London had closed the airport. We travelled to Birmingham. Then we went by coach overnight. It was a horrendous trip.
So what you're saying is that you were determined to get here.
That's absolutely.
All right, now just so people can get a feeling for just how big a thing this was, how many in your family?
There was 8 of us, 6 children and Mum and Dad. So 8 of us. The only time that we really sort of, on the Sunday before, was we'd gone down to Sliray, and we remember driving away from there, and of course everybody was upset, and that was the only time we thought something is happening, but we didn't realise till the extent. And I remember my dad saying to me, "Look back at your granny, because you might never see her again." And that was the only time that something was, we thought, what's going on? But other than that, driving away from Sliray, we all looked back and there was dead silence in the car, and and that was it. That was the last time that we were going to be there. Even at the airport, it was an adventure. We'd never been on a plane. We'd never been out of Ireland. I'd been to County Meath on the north. I'd been to Wicklow on the south. That was it, all our lives. So everything was, it was a big adventure. But by the time we hit Australia, I thought, oh my God. Kept saying to Dad, Daddy, I want to go home. And he kept saying, sweetheart, this is home.
Yeah.
But it was. And lots of memories, lots of on the flights and lots of memories in the one place that we did get to land and get off the plane was this place called Karachi twice. I'd never even heard of it. And we'd been turned around the second time to go back there. And then Darwin, and that was it.
All right.
Darwin was the 12th of the 12th at 12 midday.
Right,
So,
your official entry point.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were Fremantle on the boat the 1st of October. It was Sydney on the 7th, but so I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, well, now we're going to ask you loads more, let you tell us loads about the adventure, because, boy, it definitely was a determined sort of a situation. But I was just doing a little bit of research, and you as a 15-year-old, I don't know if you used to get the Spotlight magazine with the song words and all the rest of it, but I just did a little check as to what song was number one in Ireland when you were flying out of it. And it was this one, The Real McCoy with Quick Joey Small. All right, that's fine.
A quick Joey Small went over the wall with a ball and a chain behind him. A quick Joey Small went over the wall, said it don't hurt to find him. In a psych prison suit and no room to move, he headed for the highway. With a chain still dragging, he thumbed down a wagon, said, hey, mister, you going my way, let me see you now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump out.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. They're gonna send you back to jail.
The sheriff got a shotgun.
He do,
He fill you full of lead, son.
it's true.
He even got a blackjack.
He's mad.
He hurt your head in one whack. All right now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
A sweet Mary Jane was going insane when she heard about Joey's jailbreak. But she knew all the while, cause she sent him a file baked inside a fudge cake. Let me see you now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump out.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. We're gonna send you back to jail.
Sheriff Jack Baines was a man of brains, but he knew one thing for sure. But he took some tut in a pair of handcuffs and headed straight for Mary Jane's door. Let me see you now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump out.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. We're gonna send you back to jail.
A sheriff got a shotgun.
He do,
He fill you full of lead, son.
it's true.
He even got a blackjack.
He's mad.
He hurt your head in one whack. All right now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump out.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. We're gonna send you back to jail.
Oh, let me see you now.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. The hounds are on your trail.
Jump up, jump out.
Run, Joey, Joey, run, run. We're gonna
Yeah, and that was a pop song, of course, because the 60s was the pop era, and the Quick Joey Small was a huge hit, and it was actually number one in Ireland when you guys were flying out of Dublin. And you'll be surprised when I play the one that was number one when you flew into Australia. But tell us a little bit more about the actual the trip, because it sounds like it wasn't all that straightforward.
Well, it certainly wasn't. We went round the world. We left Dublin. We were supposed to go to Heathrow, but obviously it was closed due to the snow. We got diverted to Birmingham, coach overnight from Birmingham down to London to Heathrow, turned up at the airport. Luckily for us, there was some fantastic politician's wife at the airport, and she said, this is giving these people a bad opinion. They've got no accommodation, no food. So they organised accommodation in a hotel right next door, then the dinners, etc. And we virtually were laying on the floor in Heathrow Airport for a couple of days until we could actually get shovelled onto the plane. The snow ploughs moved in and the plane took off, but we never realised at that stage there was no luggage on board until we landed in Sydney. But we took off, we got enough fuel on board to get to Rome, refuel, but weren't allowed off the plane. Then we went from there to Karachi, which, as I said, we did not have any idea where that was. It was just in the middle of nowhere. And I still remember Dad sending us to the bathrooms with Mum, and don't you dare leave her side. And the boys with him, don't you dare leave my side. And then we got back on, headed off for Bombay, but there was an issue at Bombay Airport, so that's why we got turned around and got sent back to Karachi to refuel, then to go straight to Singapore. Singapore, of course, you land there at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's steaming, raining, and the steam rising up off the ground, and it's still the same to this day. And then the big drama. We landed in Darwin at 12 o'clock. We get to the airport, it has those louver windows and ceiling fans and stinking heat, probably a lot like today. And that's when then all that food that we'd got on the plane that we weren't used to, because we got brought up on potatoes, of course, we were all sick. I think the whole plane, or everyone that was on that plane, were all migrants, and everybody was so sick. And that's when I just wanted to go home, and so did my siblings, and Dad said, sweetheart, no, this is it. And then we arrived in Sydney, and as we were flying into Sydney, there was an electrical storm. And of course, when we saw this lightning, we thought, my God almighty, we're going to get killed. We're used to shutting all the curtains, turning all the mirrors, and we couldn't do any of it. And the old Ratley bus then took us out to Cabramatta Hostel, and we landed there at 9 o'clock at night, and they opened up the dining room, decided they'd serve us Hungarian goulash, and that was the end of it. So that was the brilliant first ever trip on a plane.
Well, that was a tester to see, well, what, you think, what can go wrong after this? You've done it all.
We sure did.
All right, well, guess what, everybody? The song that was number one in Sydney when they arrived was this one. John Denver, Leaving on a Jet Plane.
All my bags are packed, ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blown his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I let you down. So many times I played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I'll think of you. Every song I sing, I'll sing for you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I believe in on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Now the time's come to leave you. One more time, let me kiss you. Close your eyes, I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the times I won't have to say. Smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. To go.
Yeah, believe it or not, John Denver Leaving on a Jet Plane was #1 in Sydney when the O'Brien clan arrived. I'm here with Marion O'Brien Wicks, and she's telling us the story of their coming out to Australia 50 years ago. And I know how tough it was for Anne and I just as a couple. But imagine being a group of 8, mum and dad and 6 kids. Holy smokes. I'll tell you what. All right, Marion, back to you. Tell us a little bit then about you got to Cabramatta, and that was the hostel. And it was a Friday, you said, I think.
Yep, it was Friday evening about 9 o'clock, and they opened up the cafeteria for us to give us some dinner, and they were serving up Hungarian goulash, which we'd never had in our lives. And by that stage, we were all so sick, we thought, forget it, we'll just have the tea, and went to bed. Then we realised we had no luggage, and we're still in winter clothes. And we had no luggage at all, and it was going to be a couple of days before it came. So the hostel, well, it's the old Nissan huts, and no air conditioning, no nothing. Mum and Dad's bed was at the actual lounge, and it just happened that our neighbour in the little back part was Bob Cunningham. So we've sort of had a little bit of interaction over the last 50 years, and Bob was our little neighbour. So we had 3 rooms of the Nissan hut, and him and his wife had the other rooms, so we were sort of neighbours. So the hostel, I can tell you now, we weren't going to stay there very long. I think a lot of people that did stay there for a while, they all went back, and you can understand why. You know, the heat and queuing up for dinner, and it just wasn't a nice place. And once you're there, you're on your own. There's no support, no nothing, no one to help Dad get a job, or Don, my brother, to get a job. Nothing. You arrive. That's it. You're on your own forever.
Well, my memory of that same thing, Nissan hut. We were at Leighton Field, which was the neighbour of Cabramatta, and the first breakfast that I had, I'll tell you how crazy it was. That I'm going back as soon as I have the money to buy a ticket, and it was because they had a fry up for breakfast, but what they had was that horrible sausage meat, salami kind of stuff, fried like bacon, and I thought, jeez, if this is what bacon is, I'm out of here. But
That's it.
but in your case, it was the Hungarian goulash. That's great. I'll tell you what. Now, you were 15. You were in second form in Ireland, which is what? That's year 8.
8, yeah.
Okay.
Virtually year 8.
But where did they throw you?
They put me into school certificate level. So I had to sit the school certificate straight away, which was the 4th form back then. And then I was finished school. So I could go on for another 2 years, but the whole school difference between Ireland and Australia was just, they could not work it out. So they were putting us into classes by age, not by what you'd learned or anything.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so I left and after 1 year and went to work, and that's where it all started.
Okay. And the older brother, Don, tell me his story.
Well, Don had already started work in Ireland. He was working at Unidair where Dad worked, and he was going to be a draftsman. So he thought he would further that career when he came to Australia, which he never did. But when we came, Dad said, okay, we have to go find work straight away. The best place to go is to the railway station. So Mum and Dad and Don went off on the Monday morning, and they went into Central Railway Station. I was to look after the others and made sure we went for meals, etc. And they went to the Central Railway Station, where Dad was applying for a job as a train driver, and till he found out that he was colourblind. He'd never knew. Don got the job straight away as a junior station assistant, and he was going to be posted the following week out to Birrong Station. Hence how we landed to live at Auburn.
Right.
They told them to catch the train out to Auburn Station, hop off, catch the bus out to Birrong, and you'll see where you're going to work. So Dad thought, well, I have to do something. And Mum had made him promise when we were leaving Ireland he would never be a security guard again, which he was at Unidair and shift work. And what happened? There was an ad for a job at the AMP building at Circular Quay as the security guard, start on Sunday night, and that was Dad's job. But luckily it was short-lived. He saw the truck reversing into Town Hall, which was a Woolworths truck, and so he went to Woolworths and applied for a truck driver's job. And it just happened that the depot for Woolworths trucks was at Silverwater, which is close enough to Auburn. So while they were waiting to catch the bus to Birrong with Don, they saw the sign in the real estate VJ Ray, house rental purchase plan, which obviously you get hooked on. And that was when they came back and said, we're moving here, we've bought this house and we're moving. So we had a very, very short stay at the hostel, which we were delighted about. And we turned up at Auburn on the 4th of January to move into the house. We had nothing but 8 suitcases with clothes, no furniture, no nothing. The first place then, Mum and Dad said, we'll go back to the hostel tonight. We said, no, we won't. So we slept on the floor. It was obviously summertime. We were all laying on the floor in one room next to each other, no sheets, no blankets, no nothing. And then through the middle of the night, we all started waking up thinking, leave me alone, stop touching me and everything. And it turned out it was the massive big cockroaches just walking all over us. So that was our first in the house, the blue house. So no, it was, when we look back now, it was a massive adventure. We see lots of funny things, lots of memories, and lots of things that would turn you back and send you back home, but you're so far away you can't. But it is and has been a fantastic life.
Right.
Absolutely.
So this next song that I'm going to play is because obviously for your mum and dad to work so hard to get this, they were obviously following their dream. Here's my rendition of Follow Your Dream.
The road we walk is long and lonely, and you only get to live one life. So if you've a dream that you believe in, to make it real, you may have to find slamming doors and tears of heartache, cruel words that like a knife cut through your heart, but they all mean nothing if deep inside your dream is right. And the lights of home shine twice as brightly. It's the finest place that you've ever seen, and they light the way to the darkest hour. As you follow your dream, the path you take may lead to places, for life and love are strange and new. You mustn't change for the sake of changing, 'cause what you are is inside of you. And the lights of home shine twice as brightly. Is the finest place that you've ever seen, and they light the way to the darkest hour. As you follow your dream, waves roll on in an endless motion, and they wash my footsteps from the sand, but they'll never wash away all my memories of the love we shared and the songs we sang. And the lights of home shine twice as brightly. It's the finest place that you've ever seen, and they light the way to the darkest hour. As you follow your dream, as you follow your dream, as you follow your dream.
Yeah, so that was it. Kathleen and Danny were following their dream, and the kids got taken along for the ride. So we've got you into the house in Auburn. Not very pleasant. We had clocks in Ireland on the floor, didn't we? We remember the Little Beatles, but they weren't like the Cockies.
Yeah, no, and not
All
as
right.
big. Yeah, no, we had the next door neighbours were George and Jessie Booth, and they yelled out over the fence and said, "You're coming for lunch." So when Mum and Dad came back after visiting the Catholic Church, we said, the neighbours want you to go in for lunch. And then Mum came back and said, "No, we're all going for lunch." And George and Jessie, George was from England and Jessie was actually from County Derry. So,
Right.
and they became our pseudo-grandparents all our lives, which was wonderful. Then living in Auburn, we joined the youth group, and the kids, the younger ones, went to school, and it was the League of Nations in Auburn. We had Indians, Maltese, Lebanese, Vietnamese people, and we all lived together. And the best part was we learned how to cook all different styles of food and taste food. So that's where we went from the bacon and potatoes to, you know, all the different sorts of foods. And we have lifelong friends from there, you know, especially Maltese, the Gretches and the Attards. yeah, good, lifelong friends, which is absolutely wonderful. So our time in Auburn was fantastic. The house is still the same. It's never changed. It's still got the 2 pine trees out the front that Mum planted. It's got all the renovations that Mum did on her own while Dad was at work. And it was a fantastic house.
Yeah.
And it was always open door.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, I have some memories of Auburn. I have memories of the one that always sticks in my head was your dog.
Sammy.
You had that. What was it?
Sammy, the
Yes,
Cocker Spaniel.
The Cocker Spaniel. That's right. Loveliest, quietest dog I've ever seen. But I visited your place one day, and I opened the front gate to go in. I mean, your front garden was 6 feet deep, or less. But I opened the gate, and there was a guy walking down the street, and he had a neck brace on and a walking stick. And the dog took after him. And I looked at him, and I glanced back at you, and your mother's cacking herself, laughing. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, what's going on? And she cracked up. She said, look at him. He could do the 100 meters in 10 seconds, and that guy's been sucking on the compo for years.
Well, you see, the one thing about that is Sammy, the Cocker Spaniel, was reared by Irish people, an Irish family, and you know how Irish people have long memories. And the dog had a long memory because he got taunted by him with his walking stick every day when he went past the house.
Oh, God.
So, yes, we had fantastic memories, and as I said, it was always open door. We'd have any strangers, whether they're animals or humans, came, and especially migrants. All the Irish. We met Monica and Tom, obviously.
Yes.
They came, and yourself, of course,
Yeah,
and Anne.
that's right.
So it was, that's where you went to.
Yes, and it just happened to be very handy that the name of the street was Sheffield Street, so we could play cricket in the middle of
In
the
a
street.
Yeah,
At Christmas time, have the Sheffield Shield.
that's it.
But that's good. All right. Now, where you left, though, and I know and I've known you all those years, and if I didn't know better, I'd say you weren't from Dublin at all, because all your memories that you talk about are of Slieveray, which is in the County Wicklow. So here, especially for County Wicklow, is Among the Wicklow Hills.
I just received a letter from my home in Ireland. The scribble so familiar was my mother's feeble hand. A house that rang with music and of laughter now is still. Dear Danny, it's so lonely now among the Wicklow Hills. As I gaze across the mountains, I relive that moment's joy. Those same old Wicklow mountains where you rambled as a boy. Your photo as a child that pictures by your bedroom sill. And each night I pray that you come back home among the Wicklow Hills. Do you remember long ago when in summer you would stroll down where the crystal fountain meets the slaty waters flow? You recall a young companion who talks about you still, and you know who she's waiting to among the Wicklow Hills. As I gaze across the mountains, I relive that moment's joy. Those same old Wicklow mountains where you ramble as a boy. Your photo as a child that pictures by your bedroom sill. And each night I pray that you come back home among the Wicklow hills. And each night I pray that you come back home among the Wicklow hills.
Yeah, that was Declan Nerney there, and Among the Wicklow Hills, which is where Slieve Ray is. And actually, I've been to Slieve Ray a number of times, but also, of course, very close to where some of the other Doyle clan hung out, Killamote. And whenever I'm home, I end up at a music session at Redangan, and yeah, so you have some very good cousins over there in the Wicklow area still. So back to you, Marion. What tell us some more about the family in Australia?
Well, we all, as I said, we lived in Auburn. We all grew up, left school, got married, had kids, lots of kids, and we all started moving in our own directions, the whole lot of us. I moved right up to North Queensland, up to Mackay. Don moved to Melbourne. Noel was up in Gunnedah for many, many years. Carol was the homebody always, so stayed around St Mary's, St Clair most of her life. Derek was off to Albury, and then Martin the same. He had a few stints away up near Taree and then back home again to Sydney, so they've sort of stayed around Sydney. And lots and lots of adventures and lots of different sort of work. We've all been. Don was the one who was the most stable, I suppose, of all of us. Although he's not the most adventurous one of all of us. He is the oldest, but of course, as you know, I'm the boss.
That's it.
And but he likes his stability. Noel, of course, entered into the political arena, and he ended up with an Order of Australia. So. And then, of course, I've had a varied career, and 5 kids, and now 13 grandchildren, but they all know where home is. Home is in Slearay.
That's
so
exactly.
They grew up knowing that that's where our hearts are, and that's where home is, and they've all been, thank God, we've had them home, and they think it's home as well, so
Good.
they've got that.
Good. It's a funny thing, actually, one migrant to another, that people say to us, where's home? Because you talk about going home for a holiday. And I said, yeah, and when we're in Ireland, we talk about going back home. So we've got homes on both ends of the world. But our kids, because they grew up in that scenario, they think of Ireland as home as well.
They do. Yes, they certainly do. I know when Brett got married, Brett and Ebony got married, I made them go for the honeymoon for 6 weeks, and obviously with their cousins. And Brett said to me, how do I get to Granny's house? And I said, look, you'll just know. You'll just know. Don't ask me what the street names are. You'll just know.
Yeah.
And he said, I have been here before. I know I've been here before. So, and I said, the only thing that you have to make sure is you go to Mass on Sunday, no matter what. And then he got cornered by Mrs. Brophy and Mrs. Mike and all that in the village. I know your mammy, I know your granny, I know your great granny. And now I know you.
That's it. Now, that's lovely. Yeah. That's lovely. I mean, talking back to the lads when they were young, fit blokes like I was once upon a time, we all played football and hurling together, and the railways played a big part. Yes, Don,
and Derek. Yep.
Okay, because wasn't Noel a security police on the railways?
Railways,
because I ended up, I never worked for the railways, but I played soccer for the railways. I was co-opted into the soccer team. So there you go. So there's been some brilliant adventures. All right. The proper connection is supposed to be Dublin. So I'm going to play a Dublin song. This one is very good. This is another Martin Doherty song. He wrote this one only 18 months ago. So I guess if you listen to it, it'll kind of put you in that same thing of what it was like. You remember Dublin as a child, then you have this one. This is called Dublin Today.
bells of Christchurch ring out over Dublin town, and I think of my friends who are past and gone away, and the seagulls by the Liffey wait for their surprise, and the statues of our patriots stand proud and high. Oh, how I love you, old Dublin, today. I love you more than I can say. So take my hand and show me the things I have not seen. Oh, how I love old Dublin town today. I took a stroll by Kilmainham jail, where me dar and I once walked, and I remember what he said about Ireland's greatest loss. How Connolly and his comrades were shot down by the foe. Now I walk these streets and I'm proud to say I call Dublin my home. Oh, how I love you, old Dublin, today. I love you more than I can say. So take my hand and show me the things I have not seen. Oh, how I love old Dublin town today. I stepped inside O'Donoghue's to hear Joe Foley play his songs, and I heard a man from Portugal singing a Christy Moore song, and the reels and jigs just took me to a place I used to be. It was Slattery's on a Saturday night back in '73. So now it's time to leave you, though my heart is sad and sore, to leave the place where I was born and to see Christchurch no more. But the memories that I take today will be always by my side, and the love for my dear country will be with me till I die. Oh, how I love you, old Dublin, today. I love you more than I can say. So take my hand and show me the things I have not seen. Oh, how I love old Dublin town today. Oh, how I love you, old Dublin, today. I love you more than I can say. So take my hand and show me the things lands I have not seen. Oh, how I love old Dublin town today. Oh, how I love old Dublin town today.
Yeah, that's written by Martin Doherty, and it is Dublin Today. Now, Marion, you've got us to today. So what's going to happen now to celebrate that 50 years?
Well, this week we start on Thursday, which is
Actually, I'll just back you up once, though, because in all of this, that is 50 years. We have lost one of the clan.
Yeah, we sure have. And that was our baby brother Derek, and I know that he would be so engrossed in this weekend and everyone being together and all the family being together. Yeah, that was the sad part, but we've learned to live with it, that he's gone and he's happy. But I know he'll be there, and I know Mum and Dad will be there for sure. They'll give us the signs. So what we're doing is, as much as the family as can come together, unfortunately with these fires that are burning throughout New South Wales and Queensland, it's a bit hard for all of the kids to travel all those long distances. But we're having a huge get-together at a place called Little Forest at Alpine in New South Wales, which is basically the Southern Highlands. And we're all together for the whole weekend, and some friends and some other people that were on that plane with us, and we're celebrating the whole 50 years, celebrating being Irish forever. And we have high teas, but the big thing on the Saturday night is Mum's traditional hot Christmas dinner. We can't celebrate without that.
Regardless of 40 degrees.
That's it. Never ever changed. And that's what the big special event. Everyone's involved in doing the decorations and everything. And obviously we're having that fantastic band playing. So the Mountain Dew. And everybody back home, you'll get to see them later next year, 2020.
Exactly. We're going to hang in Wicklow. Wooden Bridge, as a matter of fact.
That's it, yes.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, now, I'm going to play a song that would have resonated with your dad, because, as you said, he came out here and couldn't get the train job. Mum wasn't letting him have the security job. So he took a truckie's job.
Yep.
Well, here's a song about trucks that were common in Australia back in that day. They were also common in Scotland. This is a Mark Knopfler song that I recorded, and it's called The Border Reaver. Southern bound from Glasgow town, she's shining in the sun. Well, it's God's down mercy on the border run. We're whistling down the hillsides and tearing up the climb. I'm just a thiever, stealing time in the border reaver. 300,000 on the clock and plenty more to go. Crash box and lever, she needs a healing toe. She's not too cold in winter, but she cooks me in the heat. I'm a 6-foot driver, but you can't adjust the seat in the border reaver.
Sure as the sunrise, that's what they say about the Albion. Sure as the sunrise, that's what they say about the Albion. She's an Albion, she's an Albion. The ministry don't worry me, my paperwork's alright. They can't touch me, I got my sleepless nights. It's knocking out a living wage in 1969. I'm just a thiever, stealing time in the border river. Sure as the sunrise, that's what they say about the Albion. Sure as the sunrise, that's what they say about the Albion. She's an Albion, she's an Albion. Yeah, that song's called The Border Reaver, and it's in honour of a horrible Leyland Reaver truck. And Danny O'Brien would have had lots of times driving out rubbish like that back in the day. So there you go. Now, tell us all about the weekend. You're having all sorts of people, and
Yes, we've got, as I said, we've got some people that were on the plane with us, and we've sort of kept in contact, and obviously yourself and the music, and it's just the Irish get together. That's what it is, celebrating us being Irish. While we are Aussies as well, but we're Irish at heart. Lots of our friends and family, of course, all together, and it's just whatever happens. It's the meals are organised, and as I said, no matter what, it can be 100 degrees. We are having hot Christmas dinner and pudding and custard and all those things. So, and we're snap happy and video happy. And at the moment, I'm putting the whole book together of the family history together, and it's going to be all in it. And we've got the kids to write things for the book about us and their parent that came from Ireland, and just putting all that together.
sounds really exciting.
It is. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time, and the best thing is that we'll all be together and celebrating, and and it won't be, the normal drunken Irish party. Maybe it will be for some people, but and the best part is that it doesn't matter, you can go and lay on the floor somewhere, or there's a bed. We've got about 50 beds, and so nobody will be driving, that's for sure. Good,
that's very good. All right, well, in honour of that, that's a great way to finish, and I am looking forward to it, as is Anne, and we think it'll be a great weekend, right enough. So I think the absolute ultimate song to finish this lovely little get together and this little interview is a song called Irish Heart.
My faithful friend, it's been so long since I sailed away from my own native home, but Ireland's always been here on my mind. And oh, what I'd give just to be there one more time. I'll always have an Irish heart. No matter where I go, I know where I came here will never be far apart, for I'll always have an Irish heart. My faithful friend, my time has come to leave this world and to enter God's home. I pray He'll fly me high, He'll understand. I need to say goodbye to my Ireland. I'll always have an Irish heart. No matter where I go, I know where I came here from. My homeland and I will never be far apart, for I'll always have Irish heart. I'll always have an Irish heart. No matter where I go, I know where I came here from. My homeland and I will never be far apart, for I'll always have, yes, I'll always have an Irish heart. There you go, and that song epitomizes that, yes, you've been in Australia longer than you lived in Ireland, but still Irish at heart regardless. We can't help ourselves, can we?
No, that's absolutely right. My heart is in the Wicklow Hills.
That's it. Well, I would like to especially thank you for coming and sharing your story, Marion, and I'm sure that all your friends will enjoy listening into this and reliving some of those memories. And well, there might be another story in it next show to see if a fight breaks out at the little forest. But there'll be great crack there, that's for sure. So, Marion, I just want to thank you for coming, and I wish you well, and here's to the next 50 years. We'll come back in that time and see how we're going. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. I'll still be here waiting for my telegram from from King William.
That's
that will
correct.
be by
Yeah,
that stage.
I was looked at funny one day. I said that at a gig, and I said, I'm going to hang around to get a letter from the king. They're going, but it's a queen. Won't be by the time I get to be 100.
I'm going to be the first Irish woman to get one.
There you go. All right, well, now, I'm going to finish off with a beautiful song here that it covers all of us. It's all about our friends, those with us and those no longer with us. So this is for your mum, your dad, for your brother, and all the other people that we've known over the years. It's called Absent Friends. The time has come, say good night, for every road must end, for the ones who care, and they're always there, our very special friends. Let's say good night to those we love, and maybe shed a tear, But before we close, let's think of those we love who can't be here. Let's raise our hands to absent friends, for every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, our special absent friend. As we go down the road of life, sometimes we race too fast, and as we chase the future bright, we can't forget the past. So let us cherish memories we hold inside our hearts, where those we love will always live and never to depart. Let's raise our hands to absent friends, for every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, our special absent friend. And when it's time for us to go and our long journey ends, we'll never be alone, you see. We'll be with absent friends. Let's raise our hands to absent friends, for every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, our special absent friend. Let's raise our hands to absent friends, for every road must end. You'll always be there in our hearts, our special absent friend. You'll always be there in our hearts, our special absent friend.
All right, and a special thank you to Marion for coming in and telling us the story. And I hope that you all enjoyed that. It's lovely to get that from a first hand. 50 years of migrant living here in Australia, and certainly times and things have changed, but that was great. I really enjoyed having you in here, Marion, so thanks a lot for that. And in honour of yourself here, knowing again, we discussed that you can take the paddy out of Ireland, but you can't take Ireland out of the paddy. What do you reckon?
I was dreaming of old Ireland and Killarney's lakes and fells. I was dreaming of the Shamrock and the dear old Shandon bells, when my memory suggested in a vision bright and clear all the strange things that would happen if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters and Killarney's lake flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in old Fremantle, and County Cork in Adelaide did appear. Aaron's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had old Ireland over here. There are lots of lovely lassies dancing on the village green. There are lots of lovely collies, the finest ever seen, where the boys are all called Paddy and the girls all Molly dear. Sure, we'd wrap the green flag round them if we had old Ireland here. If the Blarney Stone stood out on Sydney Harbour and Dublin town to Melbourne came to stay, if the Shannon River joined the Brisbane waters and Killarney's lakes flowed into Botany Bay, if the Shandon bells rang out in old Fremantle and County Cork in Adelaide did appear, Aaron's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had old Ireland over here.
Yes, that's my rendition of If We Only Had Old Ireland Over Here, which is very much a part of the whole scheme, isn't it? Now, the last Dublin song that I'm going to do is a fantastic song that was very big in the 70s and 80s, Summer in Dublin.
Take me away from the city, lead me to where I can be on my own. I wanted to see you, now that I have, I just want to be left alone. I'll always remember your kind words, and I'll still remember your name. But I've seen you changing and turning, and I know things won't be the same. I remember that summer in Dublin, and the Liffey as it stank like hell, and young people walking down Grafton Street, everybody looking so well. I was singing a song I heard somewhere called Rock and Roll Never Forget. My humming was smothered by the 46A and the scream of the low-flying jet. So I jumped on a bus to Dunleary, stopping off to pick up my guitar, when a drunk on a bus told me how to get free. I was glad we weren't going too far. just get on the road and I stick out my thumb, and I know you'll always be there still. I remember that summer in Dublin, and the Lithuanians stank like hell, and the young people walking down Grafton Street, everybody looking so well. I was singing a song I heard somewhere called Rock and Roll Never Forget. My humming was smothered by the 46 dead, the scream of a low-flying jet. So I jumped on a bus to Dunleary, stopping off to pick up my guitar. When a drunk on a bus told me how to get free, I was glad we weren't going too far. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, and that is Summer in Dublin, and I have to finish the show with this next one because it's been a very, very big feeling. Sorry for being here, not really, but celebrating 50 years here, but missing Ireland. So why not finish with "We Are Australian"?
Travel the world, places less free, see wonders of nature, meet people like me. But whether I travel for a short time or long, my love of Australia will always be strong. We are Australian, Australian will be, for as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky. You are Australian, and so am I. It may be from Asia or Europe you come, or your family have lived here since dreamtime begun. If it's peace that you yearn for and a place in the sun, then here in Australia, you know you're welcome. We are Australian, Australian will be, for as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky. You are Australian, and so am I. If we care for Australia and the rivers still run, that blue sky can stay blue, food grow in the sun, then our children can live here, love and be free, live in Australia in harmony. We are Australian, Australian will be, for as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky. You are Australian, and so am I. All the knockers and whingers who grumble and moan, the answer for them is as close as the phone. Ring up an airline and take off tonight, and all in Australia wish them a good flight. We are Australian, Australian will be, for as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky. You are Australian, and so am I. Oh, we Australian will be. For as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky, you are Australian, and so am I. Oh, we are Australian, Australian will be. For as long as this land is surrounded by sea, for as long as those stars form that cross in the sky, you are Australian, and so am I. Oh, we are Australian, Australian will be. For as long as this land is surrounded by sea.
Yes, indeed, and that's where we have to call it quits for this show. I really enjoyed having Marion here to tell the story. I hope you have enjoyed it as well, and I look forward to your company at the same time next week. Until then, take care of yourselves. God bless.
On the wall says time to go, and the tears in your eyes say no, 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 and the pain in my heart still grows, grows, grows. Kiss me, Molly, then it will be over. Before me the ocean dreams of better days, beside me the girl I leave behind, and the ship it lies awaiting. There's so much left to say, so little time, 'cause I'll be on my way. And the clock on the wall says time to go, and the tears in your eyes say no, 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 and the pain in my heart still grows, grows, grows. Kiss me, Molly, then it will be over. All the good times that we knew, and time will go rushing by when you won't feel so blue, till soft winds bring me safely home to you. The clock on the wall says time to go, and the tears in your eyes say no, 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 and the pain in my heart still grows, grows, grows. Kiss me, Molly, then it will be over. The clock on the wall says time to go, and the tears in your eyes say no, 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 and the pain in my heart still grows, grows, grows. Kiss me, Molly, then it will be over. Kiss me, Molly, then it will be over.